obviously the Mick Jagger, David Bowie affair happened.
Yeah, I'm all in on the Rolling Stones.
That's why I was like, oh, come on, bring it on.
Well, the Stones would be a hell of a... Yeah, everybody would watch that. I don't think we know a lot of things that those boys did.
They're still alive. Like,
Except for the drummer.
yep, but all the drums did it. Still kicking.
Yeah. There was like, early 80s, no? Maybe middle 80s.
I mean, I was going to say like 78.
I'll say 82.
Alright, let's see. Mick Jagger is
80 years old.
Yeah.
80. Yeah. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Unbelievable. He's still, like, you watch him in concert, he is still out there, like, dancing, moving really well. That is good.
You guys would not remember this because you weren't born yet, but I was riding in my uncle's car, listening to KEWB radio, AM 630. And the guy comes on and goes, how you doing today? Everything going well here? Hey, everything wonderful. Time to listen to a little Rolling Uglies. He called them the Rolling Uglies. Well, that's not very nice, is it?
Meanwhile, Mick Jagger has had, like, every beautiful supermodel in his bed.
Exactly. I think the guy was just jealous, that's what it was.
He was very jealous.
That's what I love about the culture so much, is looking back at all those great memories of things that happened, the things that didn't happen. Now, my Catherine's father did security at Met Stadium in 1966, but they were here in 65, I think it was. He did security. You know how they got the Beatles into and out of the stadium? Because the stadium was surrounded by massive crowds. Not only were all the people inside, like 40,000 people surrounded outside, but Dick, her father, they had these laundry carts. And each one of the Beatles had to get to the bottom of the laundry cart and be covered up with towels to get them out because they couldn't get out otherwise.
Taylor Swift does something similar to this day. She has to do something like that. It's a crazy way to live, though, if you think about that.
Oh, yeah.
I would never want to be so famous that I could not go to the grocery store in my pajamas at 11 p.m. and buy Oreo cookies.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
I like that.
I love going out looking like a hot mess.
This is not going to be over 3 more years. You said 27.
2027. But you have to remember, too, they're creating 4 movies. And like, you have to film it. And we're in 2024, so it's going to take time. And because they're releasing all of them in the same year, I'm assuming they're going to go to production by late this year for at least the first one. They're going to have to.
And who will be the first one?
That's a good question. We don't know.
John Lennon, because he's the most controversial figure of all of them, of course, got murdered. Or do you go with Ringo Starr, Slipknot Soft? Work your way
I think these are soft, because I feel like Paul and John would be the final 2. Because besides complicated stories, their relationship was complicated too, especially at the end. So if you start with like Ringo and George, then you would be way into the future part.
And with John probably could be less because it's different. I mean,
right. I would think so. I mean, if I were to lay it out, obviously we're not the ones writing the screenplay or directing it, but I mean, in my brain, it kind of would work that way.
I can understand that. It's just, and I still will never forget Howard Cosell telling the world that John Lennon was dead. It was on Monday Night Football. Going back to hear Howard Cosell come out and announce, ladies and gentlemen, you got some bad news for you. John Lennon has been murdered. It seems surreal to tell you. If you're watching a football game, you're all happy to be watching football, then you hear one of the greatest of all time. Yeah, the Steelers pick up the first down. Yeah, the Steelers pick the first down. I just know.
I mean, there are those like pop culture moments or historical moments that will always be seared in your brain. Obviously, for many people, 9/11 is one thing, but there's pop culture moments. Like I remember where I was when I heard Michael Jackson had passed away, when Prince had passed away. Those are the ones because they are larger than life, and when those moments happen, you know it's about to be wall-to-wall coverage, and you're kind of in disbelief even though you never personally knew them.
Yeah. Oh, I remember when Michael Jackson died. I was in high school, working at a Perkins here in Minnesota, and one of the servers that my coworker was a huge Michael Jackson fan, and just openly sobbing in the middle, like had to go home, but she was so emotionally distraught. I was really like, Michael Jackson, like, that's great, but yeah, he affects people so much differently.
Yeah, and he's another one with a really complicated history that we're getting. A Michael Jackson biopic, by the way, that his estate is doing, which will obviously totally glaze over any sort of child abuse allegations, sexual abuse allegations, but his nephew, Jafar Jackson, who is Jermaine Jackson's son, is playing Michael, and they released a photo last week. If you haven't seen it, it is like Michael Jackson What is talent? Yeah, it's so complicated. Right, and you know, are you going to dance like him? Because nobody can dance like Michael. Nobody moves like him, and you know, that's the aspect of my life. People just love watching him perform. He's incredible.
And then also, do you get a different person like white Michael? Do you do like a lot like because obviously Michael Jackson, there's 2 different versions of him. Do you cover him head to toe in white makeup? Is it good? Like that's what I want. Because there's
I think Jafar's playing all the way through, so makeup will have to do at that point. I mean, it's interesting if you look at his Off the Wall album cover, and then look at his Thriller album cover. It's 2 different Michaels in a very short amount of time.
What?
He did have vitiligo.
Actually, because I always thought it was the part
But you were in love too, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did have vitiligo. But his features changed though too. I mean, his nose changed, his cheekbones changed, and I think to me, I mean, to see the progression when you look at the album covers, it is sad because there were so many doctors, besides the ones prescribing the prescription drugs, there were too many cosmetic surgeons saying yes when he should have been stopped a long time before.
Yeah. People are calling telling me it's really great that we're into the third show of the week and this is the first time you haven't gotten had it. So that's good.
I don't get mad at you. I like to beat you.
You do. There's no doubt about it. I know it's beating through that. You figured that out.
Yeah, I don't get mad at her. I'm like, God,
Indeed. No question. For anything that is brought to you by North American Bank Company, go to NABank.com or member of the equal household lender. So what do you got for today?
Today, for work, I got a lot going on. I'm prepping. I've got a Poor Things event tomorrow. Have you guys seen Poor Things this movie? I know that Tim was talking about it. She talked about how weird and whimsical the movie is. But Emma Stone's working her way probably to an Oscar for this role. So I'm prepping for that. And then So You Think You Can Dance is coming up in a couple of weeks. So I'm prepping for an interview with Judge Al Cooper.
So You Think You Can Dance is still a thing?
It's still a thing.
My show's never done. The show's never done.
They never die. They're cheap to actually film. They're filming it in Atlanta this year, so it's a little bit more of the Atlanta dance scene. And they're not doing like, do a solo, do a duet. They're doing challenges for dancers. So like, what it's like to dance at the Super Bowl halftime show, what it's like to dance on Broadway, what it's like to do a music video. So I think this will be a little bit, if it works, it'll be a little bit more real world what commercial dancers actually do. And don't know, Alison Holger was married to.
Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yes.
He was a hip hop dancer and then went on to be a DJ on Ellen DeGeneres the show. Probably about the last 7 or 8 years that her show ran. They were neighbors of mine and like that. Ellen. Yeah, Ellen was from Montecito, so she's never lived a really big Hollywood life. She's about 9 minutes from Los Angeles. And she is a big swimmer, and I think that's where